Hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to this special session. Thank you for joining us. Um, Hi, Himani. Hi, Samir. Welcome. Lots of hellos and greetings. I can see around 120 participants. Let's start this. So, and students are still joining. Let them keep joining. I think we are good to start this. All right. Many of you already know me. My name is Rakesh Rai. I have been associated with Head Bullseye since last 19 years, and I handle sales and marketing and corporate relations at Head Bullseye. So my job also requires counseling and guiding students to get them into their desired institutions. With me, I have our distinguished guest for today, and one of the premier B schools in India, and that is BITS School of Management, BITSOM. It's a Mumbai-based business school, we all know from BITS Pilani. This interaction will help our audience, the MBA aspirants, to make strategy and get some clear picture about a lot of things that they might want to get better understanding at. So, as you all know, that the support of our B school team has been immense in terms of when we talk to students, there's a separate dedicated team that counsel students and suggest them that which college to apply and what kind of insight they should have before they apply to any college. We at Head Bullseye have been into providing quality coaching to students across various domains, including CAT. Our portal headbullseye.com works on as a one-stop solution to crack most of the premium entrance exams, be it CAT or IFT, ZAT, and IPSET. So this has been a precedent since many years. We producing a lot of top percentilers in these exams, and I hope with everyone whom we are live with at this point in time, or watching this video later on, generate great results. So coming back to today's event, now in the process of helping our students making them directly interact, understand maybe BITSOM, let's talk to Narottam Kishore sir. Thank you, sir, for taking out time and participating. I know your past 1 week was really busy like anything. So glad to have you here. And let me give a brief introduction of sir. He's an experienced professional in the realm of higher education with 10 plus years of experience in uh, admissions and outreach, career development services, and experiential learning. He carries a vast experience of making students enroll or maybe management marketing, strategic planning, and market analysis for new programs. Currently, he is leading the admissions and enrollment marketing team and takes care of two-year programs vertical at BITS School of Management. And what I know about him is, whatever conversations I had since last few months, I am very much convinced that he is an authority in higher education marketing, people and relationship management, sales and strategy, executive and education, so on. And I'm sure we all understand. I'm sure we all understand correctly that management education is all about managing enterprises, maybe seeing them grow or maybe sustaining them well. And apart from other things that one person can do once they get into MBA college is that apart from the academic inputs they get in classroom, the value they add in the entire personality, the entire the value system they get in the college plays a very important role. And what you learn principally out of your class in the campus with the peer group or maybe faculty, that plays a very important part in your entire career that makes you a student for life. So we are already seeing a lot of questions from students. Before we take them, let's understand what Narottam sir has to say about Mumbai. And BITSOM is inspired by the spirit of excellence and entrepreneurial culture that BITS Pilani has nurtured over 5 decades, building on his legacy, BITSOM. So one thing I would like to understand, sir, before, and I would like to have some kind of brief introduction about the how you landed here and or maybe how you started the journey this side. So as any school takes conscious efforts into identifying the career aspirations of the candidates and creating suitable preparation plans to equip them to realize that what their true potential is. So now BITS Pulani is known for engineering and STEM courses. We all know that. How this management college in Mumbai has created its vision? This would be the first question.
Sure. Thank you, Rakesh. And first of all, thank you for introducing me. It's my pleasure to be part of the session.
Thank you.
Taking up your question, what is the vision and how BITSOM came into existence? Let me talk about my career, and then I'll link it to how BITSOM has came into existence. So before BITSOM, I was working at ISB. I was part of admission and outreach in ISB. And what I used to see there is that there are a lot of qualified candidates. They want to get quality MBA education. But India does not have enough quality MBA program. There's a dearth of quality MBA program. And that's what I used to see at ISB, that top quality students, they used to get a reject. And they wanted to study in India. They didn't want to go abroad. And they were kind of figuring out which other B schools they can go, because ISB has limited seat capacity and they can enroll only limited number of students. And that's when I realized that India has a dearth of quality MBA programs. And while I was part of the admission outreach team, I realized, or I got to know that BITS Pilani is coming up with an MBA program in Mumbai, which is BITSOM. And I saw the curriculum of the BITSOM MBA and the kind of program it offers. It offers those quality MBA programs which India lacks. Now, essentially, if you see that in India, there are like only 5 B schools, which is part of FT ranking, Financial Times top 100 MBA ranking of the world. So there are only 5 B schools in India which are part of the global Financial Times top 100 MBA program. And at the same time, there is like, if you see GMAT score, if you see people taking CAT test, there are like 30,000 students who take GMAT on test every year. There are like 2 lakh plus people who take CAT test every year. So there are a lot of people who wants quality MBA education, and India does not have that. So, and also the fact that people don't want to go abroad, because India offers great opportunity. India is emerging economy in the world, and a lot of people want to build their career in India. So they want to study in India, they want to build their career in India. But what they experience is that they don't have enough quality MBA program in India which can cater to their requirement. So that is one. There's a huge demand from the student side of getting a quality MBA program. So that's one. On the second side, there's a huge gap between what academia offers and what industry needs. The kind of skill set industry needs, the skill set that industry needs, it wants any employees to be ready with emerging technologies that is coming up in the market. People should be skilled with those emerging technologies. Businesses coming out with new function, which is digitization of businesses. There are a lot of things which is coming up to digital platform. A lot of things, technology is getting into how the business is run. So that's another thing that the industry is looking, but academia is not able to produce that. And the third thing, they're also looking for people who are well equipped socially or emotionally in terms of social skills or emotional skills. There are a lot of, great demand for people with higher emotional skills, higher social skills. And again, academia is not able to cater to that. And that's where I saw that BITSOM is coming into this space where it can meet that student requirement of that quality MBA program. And it can also meet a quality MBA education offered, or which is relevant to what industry needs. So it's kind of fulfilling a student requirement as well as industry requirement. And that was the origin of how I decided to, take a jump and join BITSOM team, because when I joined this team, I found that this is something which is coming out with truly global, world-class, truly global MBA program in the country. With the kind of faculty model that we have, the kind of curriculum that we introduce, it is coming out to be one of the top global B schools. I would say that you can in next 6 to 7 years, you would see BITSOM coming up the top 5 B schools of the country, and you would see probably in the next 10 years, you would see BITSOM at the top 20 B schools of the world, because the kind of people who are behind this project, the kind of the team that we are building it, we are very much confident to be able to build that. So that was the idea. BITSOM coming up with this quality MBA program, that was the idea to meet the student need, meet the industry needs, and the kind of curriculum that we're building. With that, we came out with the vision of offering this quality MBA program. So that was the genesis. That was the reason why I also shifted from ISB and joined BITSOM team. And it's been almost a year, which It's had been great ride so far, and we are very much confident that we would be able to do well in the coming years ahead. So I thought I'll just share my personal story and how Bitsom Vision came into existence.
Thank you so much. And to go deeper in the same question, I will, if I may ask, how it is different from other top institutions like IIMs and IITs that provide management degrees.
Sure. So see, IIMs and IITs, they offer quality MBA programs. IIMs definitely, if you see the top 6, Blackie, they do offer quality MBA programs. IIT is also coming off the top quality MBA program, and even engineering programs that they offer. So they are great colleges. IIMs, they are great colleges. They are IITs, they are great colleges. But I mean, there's so much a demand of quality MBA program. The kind of institution that exists, the current capacity in India is not able to meet that requirement. So at one point, we have institutes like IIMs or ISB, which is offering quality MBA program. But at the same time, there is a need for more players coming into the space and offering quality MBA program. So if I have to find out any key differences, what are the 3 key differences between Bitsom and IIMs? I would simply point out 3 key differences. So one is, of course, faculty. The faculty Bitsom is bringing is the top quality faculty across the world. So we are bringing faculty from top global B schools of the world, and they are coming and teaching our students in Mumbai. So faculty from Wharton Business School, faculty from NYU Stern, faculty from Kellogg, faculty from University of Texas. Those faculty are coming in India and they're teaching. So the kind of learning, the kind of exposure the students are getting, they're getting global level learning, they're getting global exposure because the faculty bringing their knowledge of what they teach at those global B schools. So faculty is one distinguished feature that we are very much proud of. The second thing that we are very much proud of is the curriculum. Because we are a new institute, we are able to design a curriculum which meets the industry requirement. And even in the curriculum, while students will study core business courses, but at the same time, they will study the one set of courses that we call winning at the workplace courses. Now, what is winning at the workplace courses? These are the courses which is catered towards developing your analytical thinking. So courses which is related to liberal arts, courses which are related to liberal education. So for example, courses related, there's one course taught at Bitsom is on Indian Constitution. Now you might wonder why business students have to study Indian Constitution. And that's something we got this feedback among our founding class students that why they have to study Indian Constitution. But if you see any business, any entity that is run, they have to meet this social commitment, they have to meet this national commitment and all that. So it is important to understand in what context a business is run, and that's why Indian Constitution starts. Similarly, we have courses related to leadership, we have courses related to written communication. All those courses will be taught, and that all courses is part of winning at the workplace courses. I mean, the idea is to give them knowledge about liberal arts, but at the same time, help them develop their social skills, help them develop their emotional skills. Because once they get into the organization, once they build their career, start their career after graduating the program, they know that they need the knowledge of non-business functions as it. They need the knowledge of social skills. They need the knowledge of business skills. And that's what we are introducing in addition to the core business courses. Of course, students will learn courses related to marketing, operations, finance, accounting. They will be learning those courses. But at the same time, they'll also learn courses which is, you might say they're not related to business courses, but they are related to the society in which the business operates. So that's why it is important to learn those winning at the workplace course. So the curriculum that we are bringing is kind of integrated with what industry needs, and we are very much confident that we will be able to produce leaders which starts contributing to the economy of the country right from the day one. So that's the second. The second is curriculum. The third thing I would say that we are different from other B school is that we are a small cohort. We have a small cohort of only 150 students, which means that it gives us a lot of opportunity to give a lot of personal attention to our students. I mean, if you see other B schools, top B schools of the country, they have cohort size of 400 plus or 500 plus. But what we are offering is that we'll have a cohort size of just 150 students, which makes it easy for us to give personalized attention to each student, work with them, figure out what is their development requirement, what is it that they want to achieve in the career, and work with them to achieve the goal that they want to achieve after they graduate from this program. So essentially, there are 3 key differences, I would say. One is faculty, second is curriculum, and third is small cohort. And that's what I believe makes us different from other B schools. But as I said, IIT IIMs are top global, top class education institution, and there is enough space for another education institution coming in, and that's where Bitsom is coming but we are bringing these three unique aspects which we believe is different from top schools of the country.
Thank you. Great to hear that. So nowadays, accreditations have gained quite an importance, and it is apt to understand that, because as they kind of give us insight to, or maybe some kind of benchmark as an institution, or maybe for a better understanding of student, they see these things. So can you throw some light on accreditations, maybe recognitions and awards on
Sure.
that is at BITSOM?
So on the accreditation part, I mean, we have this accreditation of, we know internationally the accreditation of ASCSB or EQUAS or AMBA, all those accreditations are there, and which you see a lot of Indian B schools have got that accreditation. We will be getting those accreditation, but we can get those accreditation only after 5 years of operation, because when we apply for those accreditation, all this accreditation agency wants these institutes to be in operation for at least 5 years. So after we complete those 5 years, then we will be reaching out to this accreditation entity, and we are confident that we will be able to get all this accreditation, which is globally renowned across the world. So that's one. In terms of our recognition, we are part of BITS Pilani University. So essentially, we are affiliated with the university, BITS Pilani University. We are recognized by UGC. So what it means is that the degree that we offer, that degree will be called MBA degree. And since we are affiliated with BITS Pilani, we are part of BITS Pilani. We essentially, which means that which is part of, we are UGC recognized. So any degree that we offer will be recognized by the government, will be recognized by the UGC, and it will be equivalent to a 2-year postgraduate degree. So if somebody wants to, let's say, pursue PhD after graduating from BITSOM, these 2 years at BITSOM will be considered equivalent to a postgraduate degree. And we are offering this MBA degree. It's not a PGDM, it's not a certificate program, it's not a PGP certificate program. It's a proper MBA degree, which means that whether you're in India or you're outside India, you can call yourself having an MBA degree from BITS Pilani, from BITSOM, and that will count the most when you are going to any part of the world. Because whether you're in India or outside India, you can call yourself having that MBA degree, and people can recognize that you have an MBA degree. So that's recognition we have from BITS Pilani and that UGC, and that gives us this resource or this right to offer MBA degree to the students which graduate from the program. So that's a recognition we have, and we know BITS Pilani is one of the institutional eminence status given by Indian government. So we are part of that entity, and so that means that the quality that we are offering is totally top class, and we will be able to meet the quality MBA program demands for the student of the country. So yeah, so accreditation we will get that after 5 years of operation, but as of now we are recognized by UGC, which means that it allows us to give MBA degree to the students graduating from BITSOM.
Right. So there are a variety of MBA aspirants that we have at headbolse.com also. So students who have done engineering, students who have worked from humanities or commerce, students who have work ex of more than 5 years, less than 3 years, variety. So they are freshers also. So students reach out to us regarding what kind of profile they should have to get into this. But before we get into profile deeper, I would like to know what is the benefit of WorkX for an applicant for BITSOM?
So having a WorkX definitely it gives them some advantage in the sense that they can relate to what is being taught in the classroom. So let's say somebody has work experience of 2 to 3 years, the person will be able to relate very well what is taught in the classroom. But having said that, not having work experience does not give you a disadvantage. And why do I say that? Because the faculty that we bring in, the faculty has experience of teaching fresher students, faculty has experience of teaching people with work experience. So the faculty that we bring in, they know how to teach people who do not have work experience, how to teach people who have some amount of work experience and all that. So having work experience, it does give them some benefit, and it has certain weightages, and they can make this stronger application stronger. But see, in a 2-year MBA program, if you have work experience above 5, typically 5 and 6 years or above in work experience, then probably it does not give you more weightage. It does not give you more advantages. So for a 2-year MBA program, it's a sweet spot. I would say that people having 1 to 3 years of experience, 1 to yeah, 3.5 years of work experience has that sweet spot, and they can derive maximum advantage from the MBA program. But if somebody is, let's say, 5 years and above years of work experience, I would suggest them not to go for a 2-year MBA program, because they already have good amount of work experience, and if they want to, I mean, if they're coming for MBA to accelerate their career, I mean, of course, they can apply for a BITSOM 2-year MBA program. But for them, I would suggest that going for a 1-year MBA program makes sense, because they want to accelerate their career, and that 1-year program then can give them. But with a 2-year MBA program, I would say people with 0 to 3 years of work experience, for them, it's a sweet spot, and they can get maximum learning out of their curriculum. And that's what I would encourage. If you are in the range of 0 to 3 years, go for a 2-year MBA program. But you are exceeding 5 and above years of work experience, I would suggest go for a 1-year program, because the 1-year program is catered to people who are, having 5 and above years of work experience. So that's what I would say. But yes, having work experience does give an advantage. But you should know that at what stage of work experience you have. If you are less than 3, go for a 2-year. I would say if you are above 5, then you should go for a 1-year MBA program.
Right. Thank you. Just a second. All right. So to continue this, what do you consider in the SOP, the statement of purposes that we write for any college? And this plays a very important role, and students are very, very, I'll say, careful about it. So can you please elaborate about the application process in detail, and if you can give some suggestions in writing a statement of purpose considering BITSOM?
Sure. So let me talk about the application process, especially at BITSOM. So if you want to apply, just go to the website, and there's a form. You just fill that form. Now, to apply to BITSOM, there's an eligibility criteria. There are 2 eligibility criteria. One is you should have a bachelor's degree, and even if you are final year of your bachelor's degree, you are eligible to apply, assuming that you would complete your graduate bachelor's degree by June 2022. So that's one, having bachelor's degree or in the final year of bachelor's degree. So that's one thing that you want to fulfill. Second is that you should have taken either CAT 2021 test, or you should have taken GMAT or GRE test. Now, if you fulfill these 2 criteria, then you are eligible to apply to BITSOM MBA. And then you go to the website, fill the application form. Once you fill the application form, and there are several components in the application form. So there's your academics. Then we look for your CAT, GMAT, or GRE test score. Then we look for your extracurricular activities. Then we look for your essays. Then we look for your references. And then, of course, interviews all there. So there's a different component of application. You complete those applications, you submit your applications, and then our admissions team review those applications basis that they shortlist you and call you for the personal interview. And through that one-on-one interview, if you clear that interview, then you get the admission offer. So that's a process of our application. Now, to your second question of what to write in the statement of purpose, somebody has to write a statement of purpose. I would say 3 things. Read the question carefully. What is the question that is asked in the statement of purpose or the essays? Because essentially what we see is that people try to take a shortcut, and what they do, they just do copy paste. They take the content from somewhere else and they just copy paste for the question that is asked in the application form. But I would say just read the question. The kind of content that you're putting in, it should be relevant to what the question is asked. Because a lot of people that I've been observing that they copy paste, they take the content from somewhere else and they put it up, and their content is not relevant to what is being asked in the question. So make sure that you're answering the question that is mentioned in the essay section, which is a statement of purpose. So that's one. Focus on the content, be relevant. What you're writing should be answering the question that is being asked. That's one. Secondly, that you want to focus is the grammar. Now, again, not many people pay enough emphasis on grammar, and they make some silly mistake, they make some grammatical error, and that creates, some kind of perception that the candidate is careless. The candidate has not gone through what the person has written. So make sure that any grammatical error, any careless mistakes, you should avoid that, and you should proofread it and make sure that there's no grammatical error in your statement purpose or essay that you're writing. So that's second. The third thing I would say is that the flow of your ideas, it should be a logical flow of ideas. I mean, when you're writing the statement purpose, if you write the essay, your essay should be properly structured. There should be a logical flow of ideas. You should align with that, the word limit. If the word limit is being asked for 500, make sure that you don't write beyond 500. And these things you should keep in mind, because again, when an admission officer read your application, they kind of get an impression that when you write certain thing, from there we kind of figured out your writing skills. And if you pay enough emphasis on these three pointers that I talked about, having the right content, making sure there's no grammatical error, and having a logical flow of ideas, that will go a long way in making your answers really strong, and that could make your application strong. So these three things you want to keep in mind when you're writing your essays, which is content, grammatical error, and there should be a logical flow of ideas to the essay. Yeah.
Thank you. Really helpful. And Mohit is asking a very important question, I think. What is the process of applying for a scholarship at Bitsom? If you can throw some light on, the various options available.
Sure. So Mohit, if you want to apply to scholarship, there are two things that you want to do. One is you go to our application form, and in the application form, there is a field where it asks you, where do you want to avail scholarship? So if you say yes, then it asks application asks to write an essay that why admission committee should consider you for scholarship, and then you have to write an essay justifying that why you need scholarship. So first you have to apply by writing that essay. Once you write that essay, submit those essays, that's one of the things that you have to do to apply this. And the second thing that we are also looking at is your income proof. So if you are working, or if you then your income should not be more than 11 lakhs. Or if you're not working, if your family is working, then your family income should not be more than 11 lakhs. So that's another income criteria that we look at. So these are the two essential criteria that we look at. If anybody is applying for scholarship, first they have to fill that scholarship essay. They have to write that scholarship essay in the application form. That is one, and they have to upload the income certificate. And if your income certificate is less than 11 lakh rupees, then they are eligible to be part of getting scholarship. And then your application is then taken to admission committee reviews the application, and basis that if admission committee believes that yes, we want this candidate in the classroom, and then they offer the scholarship. And that's how the process of applying for scholarship.
All right. So apart from profile, that is important in India, especially when we apply to colleges. Scores in various states are very, very important. They are considered to be the first benchmark to get into any MBA college. So Samiksha is asking this, that can you please let us know the cutoffs of various exams which are considered by Bitsom?
Samiksha, so we take test score of 3 exams. One is CAT, second is GMAT, and third is GRE. So if you have taken exam, or you've taken test any of these 3, CAT, GMAT, or GRE, then you can apply and you can submit your test score. Now, whether there is a cutoff for CAT, GMAT, or GRE, the answer is no. There is no cutoff for CAT test, or there is no cutoff for GMAT or GRE. Anybody with any score can apply, and we will review that person's application. So let's say, take for example, in CAT, if your percentile is, let's say, 80, we will still go ahead and review your application. We will not reject your application just on the basis of CAT score or CAT percentile having 80. Similarly, if you're taking GMAT, if your GMAT is, let's say, 600, we will not reject your application just because your GMAT is 600, and so on for GRE. So there's no cutoff. We believe in holistic evaluation, which means that we will look at your academics, we will look at how you have done in your class 12, in your undergrad, we will look at your test scores, we will look at your extracurricular activities, we will look at what you've written in your essays, we will look at your references. All these things will go in the part of while reviewing the applications, and basis that we take a call whether to shortlist the person we're going to. So it is not CAT dependent, it's not GMAT or GRE dependent. Of course, if you get a good score, you strengthen your application, you have a good chance of getting shortlisted, but having a low score does not reject you just because you have a low score. I mean, there have been cases in the founding class of Bitsom that people had low scores, but there are other aspects of the profile really good. They had done well in the class 12, they had done well in their undergrad degrees, they had done well in the extracurricular, they were working, they had really done outstanding achievement in their work experience. So all these things we consider, and basis that we take a call whether to give the person interview shortlist. But yes, it's a holistic evaluation. We look at different parts of the application, basis that we take a call to shortlist for the interview round, and that's when you come for the interview, and then the admission committee interviews you, and after that, decisions. So there's no cutoff, but having a good CAT, GMAT, or GRE test certainly helps, because that goes on in making your application stronger.
So now you talked about founding class. Can you talk more about, or maybe something which is relevant to internships? Can we talk about summer internships in the founding class? This must be interesting for all of us.
Absolutely. So in the month of October, we started our summer internship season, and we got great response in the sense that companies like top consulting companies like Bain and Company, Arthur D. Little, Carney, they all participated in our summer internship. Then again, Big Four like KPMG, PwC, EY, Deloitte, they have participated in our summer internship. Similarly, from FMCG, HUL participated, conglomerate, ABG Group participated, Nestle participated. The kind of companies that we got a great response, and we are very much confident that we would be able to offer great placement, final placements once the founding class students reach the second year, which is going to the next year. And the advantage with Bitsom is that we are in Mumbai, and Mumbai allows us to build connect with top companies of the country and across the world also, because Mumbai has offices of all these global companies. So we're able to build that network, we're able to leverage that network that we have been able to nurture. And through that, we have been able to get these top companies on campus. So internship has gone great. Right now, there's still like 5-6 out of 139, there's still 5-6 students yet to be placed, and that's why we have not released internship statistics, but you will get to see that very soon. But so far, the students have got great internship results, and we will take it on to the next level, which is like next year when they come to the second year. We are very much confident that companies like McKinsey, ECG, Bain, they will come and recruit our students for the final placement, that people will be able to get job in the top companies right after graduating from the college. So overall, it has been great. We are very much confident, and it gives us a lot of confidence that we will be able to do well in the next year or subsequent classes that join, because the kind of relation that we have been able to build, we'll be able to leverage that, and students will be able to get great internship as well as final placements after the graduation program.
Right. So I'm very much aware of the faculty that the Bitsom has, the world-class faculty that we have here. Since Bitsom is operating from the interim campus, I would like to talk about infrastructure also. What kind of campus life students can expect? When are you shifting to the main campus? And because this is something really important for a student, or is this really important, the campus?
Sure. So see, currently we are operating from Powai campus. That is our interim campus in Mumbai. Now, in Powai, we have this Hiranandani Knowledge Park. That's a building, and that's where our campus is. Now, it's a 50,000 square feet campus, and it offers state-of-the-art infrastructure, which means that you have this digitally equipped classroom. We have this digital studio. We have the state-of-the-art library. We have this great cafeteria. So the kind of infrastructure that we are offering, it is equivalent to any top global city campus across the world. So when I say city campus, you want to compare Bitsom campus with the city campus, the campus which is in the heart of the city. And that's where I would say that Bitsom offers similar infrastructure, similar facilities as out of any top city campus across the world. So that's one. Campus is truly world-class. And I would encourage you, if you are in Mumbai or if you plan to come to Mumbai, I would encourage you to come and visit us at our Hiranandani Knowledge Park campus. And we would love to show you the facilities and the support system that we have in this Powai campus that we have. Now, that's the campus that we have. Now, our students have residential accommodation also. The residential accommodation is about 5 to 6 kilometers away from main campus. And again, that's part of the city. Now, the advantage of being part of the city campus is that you experience the city life of Mumbai. You understand, you get to know about experience or different aspects of Mumbai's living in Mumbai city. So when I say experience city life in Mumbai, what I mean by that, which means that when you step out of your residential accommodation, you have this lot of options of eateries. You have a lot of option of entertainment. You have a lot of options of shopping malls and all that. So you live in the heart of the city, and that gives you a lot of exposure of living in Mumbai city, and you get to learn different aspects of Mumbai city. So that's another advantage, I would say, because if you see, other global schools or other schools in India, they're not part of the city campus. They are a little away from the city campus, and that makes students little cut off from the main city, whichever city they are in. But BITSOM offers that city campus, and they do get great infrastructure. They do get great resources while studying, but also while they're not studying, if they want to explore Mumbai, their residential accommodation is part of the main city, and they are able to go around and look at various options which is there that Mumbai offers. So in a way, it's a great options or great opportunity for them to live in a city like Mumbai, and that's what we are offering. So, and we will be continuing in this campus, this Hiranandani Knowledge Park campus for the next 3 years. And then we will move to Kalyan campus. That's where our permanent campus is coming up. So sometime in the month of 23, later half of 23, you can expect all of us to shift to our permanent campus, which is coming up Kalyan, and that's where our campus is coming up. That is again going to be a great campus of 50 acre. That's the land size of there, so you can expect a great campus over there. But yeah, so far students are enjoying, and they are kind of learning a lot, being part of our campus as well as living the city, which is the main part of this Mumbai.
So, sounds great, and in fact, you'll be glad to know that I have been to this this building. In fact, 2 years back. All right. So we have a dedicated team of counselors to support and suggest students to for various applications, processes, tests, and because they are frequently posed by a lot of questions, and students come to us with various speculations. Not many students are willing to take admission in any run-of-the-mill kind of college. So that is where BITSOM comes into this, and we are seeing a lot of applications happening, and a lot of traction, buzz being created at headbullseye.com because of BITSOM applications are on. So if you can, because you are here, if I can take liberty to ask you this question, if you can throw some light on key application tips for securing admission at your institute.
Sure. So let me talk about what do we look for when we evaluate any candidate's application. And that's one of the most common questions that we receive, that when we receive any candidate's application, what do we look for? How do we assess candidate's application? So to assess candidate's application, we look at 3 key aspects. One is academic ability or intellectual aptitude that we see. Second is leadership impact or managerial potential. And third is your unique personality. Now, let me elaborate on each one of these criteria that we look at. Now, doing well in each of these criteria will definitely make your application stronger, and you have a better chance of getting that. So what do we look for in academic ability? What do we look for intellectual aptitude that we talk about? And why do we look for that? Now, the MBA curriculum is really rigorous. It's challenging, and it is not easy to handle the rigor of the program. It's not easy to handle the curriculum that we have built. Now, you want to give some kind of confidence to admission committee that you would be able to meet the rigor of the program, or you will be able to handle the curriculum that is offered at BITSOM MBA program. Now, how do you give that confidence? You give that confidence by doing well academically. So if you have done well in undergrad degree, if you have done well in your CAT, GMAT, or GRE score, that gives the admission committee the confidence that yes, this person would be able to meet the rigor of the program. And that's why we look at person's academic ability or intellectual aptitude, because we want that confidence that person will be able to absorb whatever is taught in the classroom. And that confidence will come only when the person has demonstrated some kind of aptitude in intellectual space. So it can be undergrad degree, it can be your CAT, GMAT, or GRE test, and that's why we look at academic ability. So that's one thing. Second thing that we look at is your leadership impact or managerial potential. Now, how do we measure leadership impact? We measure leadership impact across 3 dimensions. One, we look at your college leadership experience. Second, we look at your career leadership experience. We look at your community leadership experience. Now, let's say in a college you have worked on any initiative which did not exist. We should talk about that, because that will showcase that you have this knack of taking initiative and you made some changes to your circumstances or to your community. Similarly, at a workplace, if you have convinced your superior about an opportunity that did not exist, talk about that. If you built a product that had made the way business is run, which is better, talk about that. If you manage a project, if you manage a program, you manage a person who had a fair share of challenges, and how you end up coming out with successful outcome, talk about that. Because again, these will give us experience, they give us some kind of confidence that you would be able to take up leadership roles after you graduate from this program. Because what we will be teaching is not only business courses, we will be also teaching some leadership skill sets, and having some kind of experience in a leadership setting will help you. So what if you don't have college leadership experience or community or let's say career leadership experience? Then you can take up some community leadership experience. So what you can do in a community leadership experience? Look around your neighborhood, look around your friend circle. There must be certain clubs. There must be certain organizations or NGOs operating in a non-profit segment. Maybe join that or contribute or make an impact in a significant way. So take some initiative and join the particular club, take up some leadership role and make certain impact. And again, the idea is to get some leadership experience and talk about that in application. Again, because even if you do that, you are giving some kind of confidence to the admission committee that you have that leadership experience, and that will give them this confidence to shortlist you and bring you in the classroom. So that's how we measure leadership experience and managerial potential when a candidate fills the application. That's the second thing. The third thing that we look at is a unique experience. Now, when I say a unique experience, we want your personal experience, which is quite different from other team members, now other class peers. Now, why do we look at unique experiences and all that? Now, MBA is a class where you have people from different backgrounds. You have people from engineering background, you have people from commerce background, you have people from science background, people from arts background. So we have people from different backgrounds. And they come into the classroom and they participate in a class discussion. They participate in a case discussion. And having people from different background, different experience, add a lot of value to the classroom discussion. So for example, what you can talk about, unique experiences. If you have lived in different parts of the country, or if you have traveled in different parts of the world, talk about that experience and how that experience has shaped you, the person that you are. If you are a sports enthusiast, or if you enjoy taking up challenges, talk about certain experience in which you have achieved certain goal and how that experience has shaped you, the person you are. Because we are looking at your personal experience, your unique experience, because that will give us confidence that yes, once this person can bring different perspective in the classroom. Because in an MBA class, there are a lot of case discussion happens, a lot of classroom discussion happens, and having people from different background, different experience can add a richness to the classroom discussion. And that's why we look at people with different experience. So any personal experience that you want to talk about, which has shaped you, the person you are, bring out those things in your application, because we want to know you as a person and what background you have come from, what context you come from, because we want people from diverse background. We value diversity a lot, and that's why you give emphasis on your uniqueness or unique experience. So to summarize, there are three things that we look at when we evaluate any candidate's application. We look at their academic ability, we look at their leadership impact, and third, we look at their unique experiences. And if somebody who put a best foot forward in all these three criteria, they have a very strong chance of getting an admit to the BITSOM MBA program. So these three things I would suggest you pay special emphasis on, and that will maximize your chance of getting an admit from BITSOM MBA.
Thank you so much, sir. And I think that this is really immensely helpful for our students. And I think with this, we can wind this up. And I understand, you have a meeting at 5:30, I think. So we at headbullseye.com see this as a strengthening of a long-term relationship with BITSOM. And we would be really happy if you can come again, maybe when the CAT result is out, maybe by mid-January or before that. So we'll be in touch with you again. And thank you so much once again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rakesh. And thank you everyone for joining this session. I look forward to connect with you. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, and I would be happy to interact with you in any capacity you want. So feel free connecting with me on LinkedIn. And if you want to know about the program, if you want to know about your career direction, reach out to me, and we can take up a discussion on LinkedIn platform. And from there, you can interact with each other. So thank you, everyone, and I wish you all the best. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.